Okay, good morning everybody.
Good morning.
It's my pleasure to be here today and have the opportunity to share with you this topic, Maslow hierarchy of needs. I prepared this presentation thinking of you as my audience today and as project managers tomorrow. So I hope you can take some points of this presentation and actually apply them to your personal and professional life. Let's get this presentation started asking you a question, guys. Do you know who that guy is? Genie? Very popular, right? And does anybody know what this guy is famous for?
Wishes.
He actually fulfills the wish of Aladdin. There was one fictitious character and there's one full movie about it. And he's such a friendly person. And Aladdin unfortunately found this giraffe, the thing is called giraffe, lamb. And it was dusted and he cleaned it up and then suddenly it showed. And I don't know if it's in real or not, but this is a fictitious character.
Perfect. Akansha, you should come and present with me. You should know about this. Okay, this is Aladdin Genie. So let's picture these guys. You are walking around Toronto one of these days, and in the middle of the snow, you came across this lamp. So please don't kick the lamp. You should take the lamp, wrap the lamp, and when you wrap the lamp, this genie will appear. So when the genie appears, he's gonna introduce himself, and this genie is gonna grant you 3 wishes. So if you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for, guys?
Can I go?
Sure.
I would want money.
Anyone else wants money?
Well, I got the money. I would like power
Great.
and the perfect wife.
Oh, God. Okay, any other ideas? Okay, everyone agree? Yes, GPA. GPA, that's amazing. This is the answer. Okay, guys, so after reading a little bit about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I have to make a confession. I developed a power to read your minds, so this is scary. Money, your perfect wife, and power. Okay, guys, let's change a little bit the situation. What if you are in the middle of the desert? What would you wish for? You can wish only material things. Any idea?
Water.
Vehicle. Okay, what else?
Water. Shelter.
Shelter. Okay,
Food.
food. This time was much easier, right? Almost pretty obvious. So I didn't have to use my power this time. So as simple, as easy, as intuitive like these guys is the topic we're going to discuss today. Today we're going to discuss the reason behind these wishes, behind the things we really want. So I realized you all knew the genie. Let's try your knowledge again. Do you know who that guy is? Oh gosh, what happened to you guys? Okay, I'm not going to judge you. This guy is not as famous as the genie. He's not going to fulfill our desires, but his theory is going to help us understand why we want the things we want. So this guy is Abraham Harold Maslow. This guy was born in New York in 1908, more than 100 years ago, and he passed away in 1970. This guy, his parents were immigrants from Russia, and as a fact about his childhood, he described his childhood as lonely and unhappy. So he spent most of his time in his childhood reading books at the library. However, overcoming this situation, he became a great psychologist and a great philosopher. And this guy, in 1943, proposed the hierarchy of needs theory. This theory basically stands that human behavior is related to human needs. So this theory said that we all are human beings and we all share some needs. These needs motivate us into action. This is basically the theory. So to explain that theory, Abraham Maslow came up with a hierarchy of 5 needs. He said everyone shared 5 levels of needs, and he tried to explain these needs through the pyramid. Okay? after this introduction, this is the outline for today. We already know why it is important. If you want to have the ability to read other people's mind, this is important, guys. We are going to see what is Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how to apply this theory to motivate employees to achieve high level of performance. Okay, 3 quick points about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. First of all, this is actually a motivational theory in the psychology field. This theory is based on human personality. The objective of this theory is to explain what motivates people to do the things they do, to behave in the way that they behave. So to explain that, Maslow said that we have a hierarchy. We need to go step by step through 5 needs, to 5 types of needs or 5 types of levels. Let's take a look at this pyramid. This is the core of this topic, guys. So we have 5 needs here: physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. The first 4 needs are called basic needs, or Maslow also refers to them as deficiency needs. Why? Because if we are in deficiency of these needs, this absence is going to motivate us into action. And the top is called self-actualization, and it's also called higher level of needs, because this is about become the most that you can be. Let's explain level by level. The first one is physiological needs. This is about the needs that we need, that we require for physical survival. If we don't have these, we are gonna die. So, air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and even sexual satisfaction. Do you know, guys, how long can a person survive without drinking water?
3 days.
Well, wait.
3 days.
Okay, average person can survive 5 days without drinking water. So let's picture this. If we don't drink water today, okay, we will try to get some water, we will try to pay for some water, but it's not something really complicated, really critical. But if you are in the day number 5 without water, guys, believe me, you will do whatever for a drop of water. So this is exactly what Maslow tried to explain with this level. After we have our fridge full of food, the next level takes place. So these are safety needs. This is about a sense of protection. So we need to fulfill our first level and go to the second level. We need a home, we need protection from weather, from natural disasters, and even we need to feel security. For example, we need any source of income, an employee, a company, something that allows us to make our ends meet. When we fulfill these 2 levels, then love and belonging takes place. I know we all come from different countries and different cultures. However, in Colombia, in my country, most of people practice Catholic religion. In Catholic religion, people believe that God created paradise with flowers, with food, with animals, and then he created the man. Even when the man had everything, food, flowers, paradise, water, the man felt alone. So this is the perfect explanation for the 3rd level of the pyramid. When the man felt alone, God created the woman. So love and belonging, it's about sense of connection. We need friends, we need a couple, we need family. We need to feel that we are part of something bigger than us. Okay, let's remember. We have our fridge full of food. We have home, we have money, we have a couple, we have friends. However, we need more. And esteem needs take place. Esteem needs, according to Maslow, can be split into 2, internal and external. Internal esteem needs refers to the super ego that we need to fulfill. So I need to look at myself with self-esteem, with self-confidence. And external esteem needs refers to the sense of recognition. So I already have friends, but now I want my friends to respect me. So esteem needs refer to this relationship that we do with the person and the status or recognition that we try to pursue through our cycle. And finally, we got self-actualization. The good thing about this is, according to Maslow, this level can never ever be fully satisfied. Self-actualization, I think, is the level where we are, because self-actualization is about make the best of you, show the best version of you. Most of you guys had a good life back home, right? Good employees, good career, friends, but we wanted something more. That's why we are here, because we want anything else, we want something else. So there needs to be something else, they need to do maybe a new knowledge, a new career, a new postgraduate. They need to know, to learn a new language. This is the fact that motivates us to stay here. So this is self-actualization. Become better every day. Okay, now you know the pyramid. Let's take a look at three main features about Maslow. First of all, humans are waiting beings. That means that even though if we fulfill one of the levels of the pyramid, we always want more. So we are not going to be never comfortable. We need more and more as human beings. It's part of our nature. Needs have a hierarchy of importance. According to Maslow, we cannot attempt to go higher in the pyramid if we have not fulfilled lower down levels. So a person who is hungry cannot even thinking about her studies or his studies if this person doesn't fulfill his hunger. And a satisfied need doesn't act as a motivator anymore. That means that our needs are the motivator for our behavior. But when we fulfill these needs doesn't act as a motivator. So another need is going to take place. Okay, I mentioned before that this pyramid was presented in 1943, more than 70 years ago. So other thinkers, other philosophers have come up with an extended Maslow hierarchy of needs. So they kept the first four levels the same: physiological, safety, belonging, and esteem needs, and they split the top self-actualization into four different levels, just to make it more specific. So they say, we have cognitive needs. This is about gaining new knowledge, learning new skills. We have aesthetic needs. This is about look at yourself and say, okay, I'm so cute, I like myself. Self-actualization is the need to become better, the need to develop yourself, your skills. And this is the cherry on the top of the cake. Transcendence needs, this is about helping other people to achieve self-actualization. So according to Maslow, only 2% of the people achieve this level. Transcendence needs are also related to religious or mystical or spiritual needs that a person can have. Okay guys, so this is the original version, this is the extended version, but we have another version, an alternative version. This other version that I'm going to show you is a little bit controversial. I'm not going to explain anything about it, but I want you guys, to draw your own conclusions. So you tell me if that's okay, this is an alternative version, you are ready now. Okay, you know the original version, you know the extended version, you know the alternative version. Let's take a look at some benefits of this theory. First of all, Maslow's hierarchy of needs has natural appeal. That means that it's intuitive. This is not rocket science, guys. Every concept in this theory, we can find every concept inside us. So this is clear, this is easy to understand. This theory is a real summary of human needs. Every need you have is contained in this pyramid. And this theory is focused on the development of healthy individuals. This is a motivational theory. And as you know, some motivational theories, or most of them, are focused on people with some disorders, depression, inferiority complex, or some kind of emotional disorders. However, this theory is focused on healthy individuals, so we all can have something from this theory. Okay guys, I want to make sure you are paying attention, so let's remember. So, as I mentioned before, when I start studying this topic, I developed the ability to read people's mind, and I'm pretty sure this question is gonna be in our final test. So, if you don't mind, let's start studying. Do you remember the first level? Oh, I love you guys. Good. Do you remember the second level?
Safety.
Okay. The next level?
Love.
Okay. Fourth level?
Esteem.
Okay, guys. And we are ready for the test. Okay. The good thing about this, guys, is we don't need to remember this information for our life. We need to know how to apply this information in our life. So, I said at the beginning of my presentation that I prepared this presentation thinking of you as a project manager. So hopefully tomorrow we all become project managers. So let's take a look at the application of this. The first thing to consider is that we want to apply this theory to achieve high level of performance. We don't want to apply this theory to force people to do something or to hold people unhappy at the workplace. We want to achieve high level of performance. Performance is formed by motivation, ability, and environment. In previous presentation, we have already talked about environment, about the workplace. Ability refers to the skills that we have, and motivation is the topic that concerns us today. So, to apply this theory, we have two ways. First of all, a couple of tips, and then a systemic approach. So, let's get this starting point. All employees have needs that they expect to fulfill at workplace. So we can follow 3 steps to do it. First of all, it's important to identify employees' level because needs are not uniform. And employees want different things depending on their personality, on their situation, on their moment we are living. Organizational culture. The framework, the cultural framework in organization should reflect that the needs of these employees are satisfied, are met. And development for life, not for work. For me, guys, this is the most important thing. When people grow as people, they automatically become more effective and more valuable for your team. So this is the key for me in the application. Let's take a look at some statistics. According to Canadian Human Resource Center, in 2017, we got these numbers. Do you know that Canadian organization struggled to engage employees? So let's take a look. In 2017, 60% of the labor force were engaged to their job. Only 25% were engaged. And this is an alarming number. 50% was actively disengaged. That means people who don't care at all about their jobs. So what's the reason behind this? Why employees leave? What leaders believe, what managers believe? They believe that people leave 80-90% because they want more money. And only 11% the cases for other reasons. But here is the truth. Employees leave 88% of the cases for other reasons and 12% only for money. So this information allows us to understand how to apply Maslow's theory. This is the Maslow hierarchy applied at the workplace. So first of all, we have money. Of course, most of people work because they need money. However, if they are working only for the money, this is the face you are going to see all the days at the workplace. However, this is not high level of performance, but we need to meet this need. So employers or managers need to pay good salaries, fair salaries, and they also need to provide some comfort at the workplace. For example, paid breaks to have some lunch, or adequate washrooms. The next level is job security. I'm here for the money and maybe healthcare benefits, maybe retirement plan. So this is the next level that we need to fulfill. Camaraderie. I feel part of something bigger. When people start interacting with their coworkers, with their peers, they start changing a little bit their face. So this is the next level. So companies should promote social events. Companies should promote meetings at the workplace. Companies should celebrate milestones in the project. This is part of this level. Importance. What I do makes the difference. How to apply it? Nice office, business cards, rewards, recognitions. We already have been told about this information. So if we fulfill this level, it's okay, people are kind of good, but we only can achieve high level of performance at the top when we promote self-actualization among our people. So when we do that, people love working at the workplace, and people will work even without money. This is the real challenge. A couple of rhetorical questions. Will the raise we received 3 years ago motivate us for the next 10 years? Will the challenging job we began 5 years ago have the same effect on us today? Will the performance award we received last year completely satisfy our need for recognition for the rest of our lives?
No.
Absolutely not, right? So this is the proof that Maslow were right. Okay, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is amazing, is awesome, is pretty clear. However, we have a couple of drawbacks in this theory. First of all, people argue that Maslow didn't consider cultural and individual difference. For example, in some cultures, social needs are more important than individual needs. An individual difference. Have you ever seen persons who endanger themselves to save other person? So this is not part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow didn't consider behavior, so we are pretty clear about the needs. However, Maslow never relates the needs with the expected behavior, so it's really difficult to understand or to identify the person. And this is one of the most important drawbacks of the theory, dependency. According to Maslow, we need to fulfill each one of the levels before even thinking about the next level. However, that is not that true in real life. And they give a very good example. They call the starving music. There are people who love music, who love arts, and they can achieve their self-actualization, their level 5, even if they don't have home. So have you seen these people in the TTC playing instruments with no money? This is an example. They feel very good, they are happy, but they are homeless. So the pyramid, the hierarchy doesn't work in this situation. Finally, Maslow's hierarchy of needs doesn't have scientific support. So this is more emotional, this is more empirical. We cannot prove with numbers the theory. Other people argue that Maslow took a narrow sample. So he didn't take 2,000 people and study these people to come up with his theory. He was based on people he knew and people who he considered as self-actualized. So the theory could be a little bit biased. And finally, Maslow didn't make any distinction between expectations, experience, and perception. He didn't consider this information in his theory, and for him, wants and needs are the same. So I'm pretty sure we are going to clear this concept in later presentations. However, Maslow didn't consider this information. Okay, guys. As conclusion, I want you to read this point. So, Javert, could you please read the first point?
Must the researchers focus on human personality?
Okay, this is kind of summary. Junior, could you please read the second point?
Yeah. People differ because they differ in their needs and motivations.
Marty, can you please read the third point?
Each individual has a hierarchy of needs: psychological safety, love, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization.
Okay, if you remember that, you're gonna be fine. Okay, our needs are constantly changing. As one need is met, we desire other needs. Once we get levels of needs met, they lose their motivational power. So a satisfied need doesn't act as a motivator anymore. And finally, guys, this is my personal conclusion. For me, when people grow as people, they automatically become more effective and valuable as employees. And fulfillment of needs is strongly correlated with happiness. I think happiness is another topic. It's very big, it's very difficult to talk about. However, this could be the first step to start understanding something about happiness. If you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about this theory, here we go. You will have two recommended books, Maslow's Theory of Human Motivation and Motivation and Personality. You can take a look at this information. Okay, this is everything from me. If you guys have any questions, I will try to answer.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Okay, so I wrote something down here. So you mentioned that managers should motivate their team based on their needs, right? So what do you think is the biggest challenge for managers to motivate their team?
Okay, thanks for your question, Jaber. Jaber is asking, what is the biggest challenge for managers to motivate their team? So I can say that managers who actually adopt this theory, they try to change some procedures, some process in the culture organization. But the real challenge is to figure out and understand what level of needs is this particular employee trying to fulfill. Because if you don't identify the correct level, you are going to appeal to already satisfied needs. So you are not going to achieve motivation from this person. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Any other question? Yes?
Yes. In your opinion, what makes Maslow's theory different of other motivational theories?
Thanks for your question, Namora. Okay, Namora is asking, what makes this theory different? So, in my opinion, the thing that I like the most about Maslow's hierarchy of needs is that Maslow considered the holistic approach of the human being. That means he saw the human being as a whole. He considered physiological needs, emotional needs, intellectual needs, and even spiritual needs. So for me, this is the most incredible thing about this guy. Any other question? Thank you so much.